computer. There we go. We're all set.
Rect Roulette is recording.
Rect Roulette is recording.
Just a sec.
Welcome to Rex Roulette Podcast. This is a little bonus for you guys. We're having a little comedy night tonight. My special guests are Sydney Basha and Veronica Dymond.
Oh, I like the
yeah.
lighting. You keep the lighting in your room, Deb. I like it.
Thanks. I got these video lights for doing the sketch comedy. Because my old light just decided to die. Like, I was like, I'm gonna do sketch comedy. I have lights. No, I don't. So I went and bought them for like $50, and but doubles as like a webcam light, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very moody. It's very aesthetically pleasing. Although, if this is a podcast, I don't know if people are going to appreciate how cool the lighting looks, but it does look very cool.
It is being filmed, so we'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, because I noticed you got a lot more views when you filmed your podcast.
Yeah, we have been getting more views, and the same amount of like downloads on Spotify and stuff. So I figured, well, at least for the interim, like put them on YouTube, gain some momentum, and then maybe take them off. But I know a lot of successful YouTubers podcasters that put out their stuff on YouTube and do really well with that.
Yeah, some of my favorites are recorded on YouTube because you just like, oh, hey, there's that person, and you like.
Yeah,
I don't know, you like them more. I find I like them more if I see them.
Yeah,
like if I can see their face and their like body language and shit.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's almost like having a real person in the room.
I know. Friend.
I know. Like whenever I listen to podcasts, I'm like, it's like I'm their friend, but like they wouldn't like me in real life. But they don't have to know that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm drinking. So yeah, Veronica, you're saying that you were doing stand-up again because Newfoundland is open and not stupid like Ontario.
I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, like we are open. It sucks in Ontario. I'm really sorry to hear what's happening. It's really
no. When we're falling behind the U.S. and like Vegas, that's when you know that like
Vegas specifically.
Vegas is open. You can't be one of those chicks that like hovers around all the guys like playing poker, but because you can't have like pals with you unless you're playing. But it's open. Vegas is open, and Ontario is fucked.
So how are hookers operating then in Vegas? I know that Nevada has prostitution. Like, do they have to wear masks? I
haven't inquired, but I'm guessing, yeah. Because
I have to imagine glory holes are involved.
Yeah,
Did you guys see the notification from the British Columbia government that was like, here are some ways to have safer sex during the pandemic?
Yeah,
and glory holes was mentioned, and it's like, oh, okay.
The first time I've ever like
proves glory holes.
Do you think like the Minister of Health is just really kinky? Is like, oh, glory holes.
This is their moment.
That was the time, my lads.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like it would be a high risk service at this particular stage. Is prostitution. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I know they recommended like putting your masks on when you screw with. At one point, they said that, and it's like you're already exchanging fluids, so I feel like
wear condoms and wear masks, the condoms of the face.
But just like you're getting the sweat on you and stuff like that, it's gonna be exchanged somehow.
Yeah.
Yo, it's a good time to be a furry.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah,
Furries are like called it.
Or like those like full on leather costumes,
like the gimp outfits.
Yeah.
It's good to be a gimp.
Yeah.
I think I saw at the beginning of the pandemic when there weren't like fat masks and stuff, or like N95s were hard to find. You would see people in gimp masks just like grocery shopping for safety.
Yeah, a lot of people would do that on camera because they'd be like, "Look at me."
Oh, I thought it was
in shopping.
Oh yeah, just to be like, oh, for my TikTok.
A lot of people, for that, but some people are just fun, do that for fun.
Sometimes people just have gimp masks around. It's the only mask they had. It was new.
You guys, it's the only mask I had. I couldn't find any.
Yeah.
So. What do you want me to do, government? Just not wear a mask?
Listen, I will wear my ball gag because it keeps me from...
You know what? It makes me happy.
The ball gag doesn't cover the nose, so it doesn't qualify, right?
Yeah.
But like, maybe it was
you need a nose gag too.
little nose plugs and
two little red dots in the nostrils.
Just cut off your breathing altogether. Just
here's
save yourself.
Cure COVID-19. Kill yourself.
Can't disseminate germs. No. That was funny. I was talking to my coworkers about this, about how basically Newfoundland is so small. Like if someone brings in COVID, like people know who it is.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. And it's actually bad because that means that they get shunned.
Yeah.
Like people will harass them. Like that happened early. That happened with the first outbreak that happened. Yeah, exactly, at the funeral. And anybody who had it, like there were a couple of people who went back to their homes and they were quarantining, they were following the procedures, but they were like getting hate mail, they were getting death threats. They were like, if you go out in the community, like I better not see you. And they were like, oh, like we just have an airborne illness. Like this is not some sort of moral thing, right?
Yeah,
so
you're not doing it to be a dick.
Yeah.
And it even bleeds over on people who don't necessarily have it. Like we have a lot of rotational workers, people who live in Newfoundland, but they work outside of Newfoundland. They come back, they might do 3 weeks on, a week off or something like that. And people are like, oh, fuck the rotational workers. And it's like, oh, like that's really awful. That's an awful thing to do to people who yesterday were just fine, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. But people are quite scared and like they don't like the restrictions, as I imagine nobody does, but
yeah.
I think here we're so used to it. Like I'm just so used to like talking more with my cat than any human being I know, or like my neighbor's got a rabbit and sometimes the rabbit sneaks out of it's like this 20-pound Flemish giant. I love rabbits now. And it scratches at my door sometimes for apples. Like I'll hear like these digs because it's a strong animal, right? It's like 15 pounds. And that's like the highlight of my day. It's like I fed like apples to a giant rabbit.
Sorry, are they called Flemish giants?
Yeah.
Like it's a Roald Dahl book? What is that?
No, it's I think a rabbit was like kidnapped last week. It was like the world's biggest rabbit. And that was the breed. It was a Flemish giant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kidnapped.
No, someone legit like stole a fucking rabbit. It was like the world's longest rabbit. And the woman was just like, bring my bunny back. He can't breed. He's too old. He's neutered. Like, don't take my bunny. And
meanwhile, a week later in Kijiji, the luckiest rabbit feet.
Oh.
I mean, good luck to that woman and her giant rabbit.
Oh, it sucks so much.
I know.
What do you have to gain from stealing that rabbit?
I suppose a ransom, like the dude who kidnapped like Lady Gaga's French bulldogs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because that dude, like, he had like I don't know whether he had a ransom, but like she was offering people like $500,000 for information on them.
Wow.
Yeah. But I guess when you're that rich, you're like, that seems reasonable. That's
a lucrative business, dog napping and bunny wrapping.
Dog napping for the rich and famous.
I know. Yeah. But no, I can never eat rabbit again because of Ryuk, because that's his name, Ryuk. I'm like, no, I can never do it again.
I remember an ex-boyfriend of mine, he had a pet rabbit, and he loved this rabbit. And then one day he was gone, and his parents told him that he ran away. But then the next night they had rabbit stew.
Oh no.
Yeah. He's like, it wasn't. They're like, we don't want to talk about it. Eat your supper.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Oh man.
His parents though, they're kind of weird. Like his dad, he'll find like a bird sitting on the ground. He'll be like, try to kill it with his car, things like that. So he's like, yeah, I love running over animals when I'm driving my truck. Yeah, so they're a bit fucked.
Some people are
glad I didn't marry into that family.
Wow.
Oh right, yeah, you dated him. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, lighting the whole room.
Veronica, what are you doing these days? I know you're a teacher, or
no, I've left teaching behind. I work as a receptionist. My day job is I'm a receptionist at a labor organization in Newfoundland, but I also moonlight as a comedian and writer in my after hours. So I do a lot. What am I writing?
Yeah.
So I just did a sketch show with a sketch troupe in town called Mom's Girls, and it got delayed. It was supposed to be in March, but we had an outbreak in February, so everything got shut down. And then a month later, things were reopening, so it's going to be happening now in 2 weeks. I'll, knock on wood. And so I just finished writing that, and that's mainly what I've been working on recently.
That's really cool. Awesome. I love to see some of your sketch comedy.
Yeah.
It's like all I watch right now.
Who's in it? Who's in Mom's Girls?
I don't know if you would know them. Steph Curran, Elizabeth Hicks, Allison Kelly, and Andy Bowman.
Those are all like St. John's like family names, but I don't know them. Maybe I saw them, I'd be like, oh, there's that girl. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to say they're new on the scene because they've been around a while. Andy is actually from PEI, and she lived in Halifax for a while. She does stand up and stuff like that. She's a good friend of mine. And but she's been in St. John's now for, I don't know, 5 years. And Liz and Allison and Steph actually are actors as well. They did stuff with Review, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so they're like, Mom's Girls is gaining a lot of traction in Newfoundland, so that's good. But I wouldn't expect if you were in Toronto that you would be like, oh, of course, Mom's Girls.
Yeah, I think it'll take a while to reach here, but yeah, no, if they're doing well on the East Coast, I mean, like, there's a lot of really good sketch in the East Coast.
Yeah. They've recently. I also directed a TV show, TV episode. It was only a 10-minute episode, but it was for Mom's Girls as well. They have a TV series coming out with Belle called Tales from the Floordrome.
Your sister told me.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cute. I think it's a kids show, and they retell public domain stories, and they're very cute and charming and sweet. And
that's really cute.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah,
it sounds fun. I would love to work with other people.
And fortunately, we are able to do that in Newfoundland because we are not in lockdown anymore.
Stop bragging.
No.
Quit bragging. No.
This is the only time that it's been good to live in Newfoundland. You know this. I
know. Well, there was that.
But we have going for us.
When I was like in my, I was like 20, like I was finishing up my undergrad. And that was when like the economy was shit everywhere else in Canada except Newfoundland because we had the oil boom.
Yeah.
And then we were like, Ontario is a have-not province, and Newfoundland.
Yeah, I remember that.
Eat our butts. And then our economy went to shit, and we were like,
our economy went to shit so fast, so soon after that. It was like, eat shit, and then it's like, oh no, all this shit coming at us.
You're back. Drinking Fresca.
My neighbor, you guys talking about kids?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, the thing is, so my neighborhood is a lot of like young families, and I find a lot of them just like, a lot of the parents just seem to not like the kids. Nice one, Deborah.
Continue.
But yeah, like on the weekends they're with their youngsters, and they just seem to like not like the youngsters. They're like, oh, why don't you get this? And it's like, because your kids too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, if I had to be around kids like 24 hours a day, I don't think that I would like them all the time. Like, if they were my kids, obviously I would love them, but I don't know that I would like being around them 100% of the time. There's got to be a point where you're just like, get the fuck out of the house.
You can't let them out the yard for an
hour. Are impossible.
Yeah. Like, because you have to you do the child photography.
So and just especially if there's a new baby, like 2 to 4 year olds are just so jealous because the spotlight's moved. Yeah, they're not like the center of their parents' world anymore. There's this new, invader.
So like that episode of Simpsons when Lisa's born.
Yeah, it's exactly how kids act.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be tough on parents, like to see, one kid get mad about another kid being born.
Yeah, it's like, well, she's here now, so what are you gonna do?
She wasn't planned. You're just gonna have to deal with it like all of us.
Dad forgot to pull out. So blame him. Didn't come on Mama's titties.
They were playing Billy Joel. What were we supposed to do? Okay.
No one can resist the BJ.
If only it had been a BJ.
Yeah, I was just gonna add that. There's so many things.
I just love that low-hanging fruit. I'm like, you low-hanging fruit. Yum, yum, yum,
I
yum.
know. BJ's always a good one, man. I think we go to like Swiss Chalet or something.
The fanciest.
Classic Newfoundlanders. Gotta have your Swiss Chalet. I don't know. He's from Newfoundland, but
no, he's from Italy, and he thinks Swiss Chalet is really funny because it's so Canadian. He's like, oh my god, it's so Canadian. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Just immerse himself into the culture.
Yeah.
Hard agree. Swiss Chalet is just so popular in Newfoundland for reasons that I don't really understand. It's like, I guess if you're craving dry chicken, you can go, but
Nan loves it. Sure, Nan loves the Swiss Chalet.
She does.
Nan loves it.
I used to like the holiday festive special because it gave me the gross scoop of stuffing that was just cylindrical.
Here's your hockey puck of dressing.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, thanks.
The chalet sauce is what gets me. I don't like the chalet sauce.
I don't like it. I don't like it either. And people are like, "Oh, gotta have the chalet sauce instead of the gravy."
Yeah. So I've seen people drink it.
Oh,
they're like, "I have leftovers." You could have not done that. It costs nothing to not do that.
It costs all your dignity to do.
Yeah.
You can buy Swiss Chalet flavored, the Chalet flavored chips. I don't know whether they're still available, but Lay's had Swiss Chalet.
They had these custom flavors. They'll rotate them every so often.
Yeah, and that
one
was
is
one of
poutine, and they have a bunch of other flavors.
Oh, I know. And I think it was Canada themed, and they had all these but I mean, ketchup chips are pretty Canadian, so we're all dressed.
Ketchup chips are Canadian, yeah.
Ketchup chips you can't find in a lot of places.
Which is good because they're gross. Actually, I don't mind. I'll dress for my mouth. I'm always injured.
I hate them. Yeah, I don't like them either.
Yeah. I've recently gotten to a point where just regular chips are too much for me. I'm lightly salted only. Plain is too spicy for me.
Serious?
Yeah, no, I don't if I eat chips, I rarely eat chips anymore, but if I eat chips, it's I have to have the lightly salted. I tried to eat a Pringle. And I was like, it's too salty. God.
Pringles are pure salt. Pringles are salt and potato juice. I don't know what I don't know how they make them. I think they make a paste and just deep fry the paste, but man.
I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how they're made. They're each stamped in the individual shape. Potato goo.
Potato. I think it's you guys ever had the Munchos in the red shiny bag?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I love those, but they're so fucking salty.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen them actually anywhere. I feel like that's something that existed in that sweet spot between 1998 and 2004, and then I never saw them again. But they weren't chips. They were that paste that was made in a way to emulate chips. But you ate them and you were like, this isn't actually a chip.
It's you could have just sliced the potato and cooked it.
You could have, but instead
had to blend it
and mashed it and mixed it around and then
reshape it.
Yeah.
Because regular potato chips aren't salty enough. We need something that will just blister your mouth.
Yeah, they do. They do burn your mouth. I'll get freaking cold sores, potato chip cold sores. Right.
All right, don't play.
That's salt and vinegar chips.
Potato herpes.
No, I swear, baby, it's just the chips.
It's just the chips. Why do I always eat the whole can? Yeah.
I can't eat just one.
Once I popped, I couldn't stop. Yeah.
Salt and vinegar chips too. Those are chips that you eat when you're I want to hurt myself. I'm a little snacky, but also I want to be in pain.
And Sour Patch Kids too.
Yeah.
See, I want to have some canker sores in the morning. Sour Patch Kids.
I remember when I was a youngster, so this is like the 90s. It was like we went to town on like really sour candy. Like you like
Warheads.
Yeah. Fucking there was like the green apple warhead where just people would lose their mind.
Yeah.
It's sort of like now it's spicy food. Like it was just like, oh, it's so intense.
Yeah. I remember with the warheads, we used to have like battles where like we would pop a warhead in and then whoever was the first person to break would lose, I guess. Like you cringed because the sour thing was sour. The thing that was deliberately manufactured in a lab to be super sour was sour. You loser.
You know how they do those hot wings challenges?
Oh my god.
Like have you ever watched Hot Ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should do that with sour candy. I think that'd be really cool.
But like there's a process to make spicy food more spicy. How would you do it with sour candy? Like what? I wonder if there's a way
I don't know. They said it on The Simpsons though, when Homer's like mouth became inward.
Oh my god, yes,
that's the lemon. That's the episode with the lemon tree, right?
No,
it's the candy one.
Oh, the super sour candy, right?
Candy Venus de Milo.
The candy Venus de Milo.
Yeah, it was that episode. He ate that before. He's like, "What? It's gone. Who ate it?" He's like,
I mean, if it existed on The Simpsons, it either does or will eventually exist.
Yeah. I'm assuming that there's a formula.
Yeah.
And if they just like, what do you call it? Just like compress it or, concentrate it. That's what I meant to say. If you super concentrate it, they can make something so sour that Jesus himself could not eat it.
I wanted to see where was it in where's the Simpsons? Like there's like a replica of the Quickie Mart somewhere in the States. I think it's like it's near Florida. I really wanted it's in Myrtle Beach. And I'm fucking dying. Like you can actually get a squishy. Like you can get a proper squishy.
Cool. Yeah, when we were in Florida, we went to Universal and we got a Krusty Burger and one of those donuts, those pink classic donuts. It was like this big. Yeah. The Krusty Burger, do not get it. It's so gross.
Oh, it sounds disgusting.
It's so gross. It was the worst burger I've ever had.
Oh,
like you'll pay $20 for this burger because it's Simpsons.
It all tastes like butt, but like it's just the novelty of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Much like the Krusty Burger in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Stacy, my partner, and I were talking about that. I think it was the Rib Witch episode, and they're like, we can't make it anymore. It's from an animal that no longer exists.
And I love how they make it. They just pour it into these molds. Like they just like pour it all into like these, like a big vat.
Like a munchie.
Yes. But
yeah,
don't involve munchies. Hold on, I gotta let my cat in. She's breaking down my door.
She wants my burrito.
My cat has scratched deep grooves into my door. I should not have allowed it, but it happened.
It's now a scratching post.
It is, yeah. As if she doesn't have enough scratching posts.
Yeah.
Goodbye, damage deposit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a wood door, so we're hoping we could just sand it down and like I don't know, use ramen noodles to fix it. I don't know.
I love all those tricks people use. Like, oh, if you put toothpaste in the walls, then you can't see the thumbtack holes. And...
Yeah, I did that. One of my roommates was like, "I'll do that," but they used like the blue striped kind.
Oh,
and I'm like, "How did you graduate from university?"
I bet he's like an engineer too, like just inept at like day-to-day things, but can build a computer.
Like you're so dumb.
But now the walls smell minty fresh, so like,
they're like, "Oh, I guess I gotta buy like the pure white kind." I'm like, "Yeah, oh, shit."
Do you guys ever get those like 5-minute craft videos or those videos that are like they'll give you a life hack and you're like, the real version that exists for that is so much simpler and so much cheaper and so much easier. Why did you do this?
No, but
a piece of garbage.
TikTok was the worst for that shit. They're like, oh, this is how you can make your own ice cream cone, and it's like, oh, you can buy them for dirt cheap.
Yeah. I think they just do it like to get views. People are like, "Oh, cool," and then it's just stupid.
One I saw was like, it was like, here's how you can stir paint. Like attach one of those head massagers, the ones that are like, attach a head massager, like drill a hole through the head massager, add this extension metal piece,
so
attach it to a screwdriver, break it, and then put it in there, and then it will, like, if you go very slowly, it will mix the paint. And I'm like, the head scratcher thing costs $10. An actual, you can buy a paint mixer part that goes into a screwdriver, and it costs $4. Like, you can get something that's like, and the head scratcher thing, the bristles on it are so flimsy. You can get a real product that will work.
It doesn't even work as a fucking head scratcher. That's what pisses me off about those. They don't even scratch your head.
That's so disappointing. I was considering getting one. I was like,
If you've got thick hair at all, or you're not bald, then they get caught in your hair. Or someone drops it, or they're also hard to store, like, because they take up a lot of space, but they're just like nothing to them. So yeah,
you could just store it in your paint bucket,
You could store. Oh, this is my cat, by the way.
Hello. What's your cat's name?
Katniss. Yeah, so me and my boyfriend got her at the Humane Society, and her name was Katniss. We wanted to get a black cat because I know that people don't like them, but the only black cat that was there was like super neurotic. They were like, oh, this cat has to be medicated with like Prozac.
Yeah, same with Audrey when we got her. We wanted a black cat too, but same issue.
Yeah, but we just.
So what I'm hearing is it's true what they say about black cats. They're not good.
No, some of them can be so sweet, but
I know some of them.
I know. I've loved black cats before.
But I think now there was for a while like a stigma, like people didn't want black cats, so people were like, oh, we should get them, and now there's like a shortage of them, except for the one that we found that was like really neurotic and hated hands. And then they were like, oh, we have this cat Katniss, it's like super fun and has an orange face, and we were like, yeah, okay. And now she is the best.
Cute.
I'm sorry, but I have to say my cat is the best. She's outside at the moment, but like not outside my office, but she is the best. She's a very, very sweet cat. Her name is Oswin, and it's from Doctor Who. The cat is Stacy's cat, and she was a fan of Doctor Who, and apparently there's a minor character whose name is Oswin, so she named her after that. And Stacy got her like 24 hours before she was going to be killed at a shelter. She had been in a shelter for a year, and she was from the West Coast in like a giant cat colony. So they drove her across the island. She hated it because she does not like car rides at all. But she's the sweetest kitty. She'll like nuzzle up to you. We had some friends over, and my friend had something in her shampoo, and Oswin was just like all over the kitty, all over my friend, just like rubbing her face over my friend. My friend is afraid of cats, so it wasn't great, but
don't kill me.
She's very sweet enough. Pardon?
Do you have a voice for Oswin? Like if you see Oswin is like, hey, I'm Oswin. Like what's?
No, I don't have a voice. I keep trying to give her voices, and Stacy vetoes them. She's like, that's not what Oswin sounds like. Okay.
My cat has an amazing vocal fry, so she's like, so I picture her like sounding like an old lady. Baby, pet me. I want snuggles. That's exactly how she sounds like.
She does. Your cat's fucking loud. It has to lick. Yeah.
Like a lot of people will come over to my house. They'll be like, "Oh, your cat's so cute," and then she'll meow. They'll be like, "What the fuck is wrong with your cat?"
Oswin doesn't meow, but she just goes meh. It's her. Meh. Yeah.
And we would sound like that. Veronica.
Feed me, love me, you're around. She'll roll over on the ground and like expose her belly.
Oh, I bite your
foot.
Like,
pet me, and then you'll pet her, and she'll be like, you're petting me, but she likes it.
Katniss has like, hold on, let me get it. I'll show you. Katniss. No, we're not.
One of my cats lost her voice with age. Yeah,
permanently.
Yeah, like until she died. She lost it like the last year of her life. She was just like her meows would be like.
Aww,
I had no idea why, but She was very, very affectionate, and she just had no meow for some reason.
She just had a life full of meows, and she couldn't meow anymore.
Cat with no meow.
Hold on, I want to show you Katniss's voice because they need to like. Katniss, come here. No, we
love you, Katniss. You're a star.
You can do it, Katniss. We believe in you.
So, Joe Fatty. That's the voice of an old Joe Fatty. We gave her like an old fat Italian man voice. I don't know why, but we were like, that suits her. No. And when she's crying and she wants food, we're like, Debbie Mania.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your cat is very sweet. I have to say, it's a very, very, very sweet cat.
We're really lucky that she doesn't like attack one of us yet, because like Alessia's my boyfriend's never had a cat before, so he just like grabs her and shit, and he pulls her tail, and he's like, "Look how unhappy she is. I'm pulling her tail." And I'm like, "Stop mistreating females in this apartment." And like
I canceled Alessio if you keep that up. You're gonna get canceled.
I'll call immigration. But yeah, and like I don't know, I just want a dog, so I treat her like a dog. And then I call her stupid. I'm like, Katniss, why aren't you a dog? But no, she's good. Too cat. But no, man, she's cool. She's like, but she doesn't like scratch people or do that kind of shit. Like she's never attacked anybody, and she's pretty chill. So
yeah. Oswin has never scratched anyone ever.
That's awesome.
She's just like a very chill cat. She'll attack blanket monsters though. If we have like our feet under the blankets, she's like, "Oh, there's an intruder. I've got to protect."
Must protect.
Only the monsters under the blanket though, not actual monsters. Just the
not actual monsters. Like, the doorbell rang. Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. There's some sort of mysterious blanket monster. This is what I've prepared my whole life for.
Yeah. It's cute. Yeah, Audrey does that too.
Katniss, like, she came from like basically like an old cat lady's house, like, you know, the old cat lady in Simpsons. That's basically where Katniss was found. So she was in a house with like 40 cats.
Oh geez.
And we were worried that she'd be really weird or like hate humans, but she's really chill. She loves eating. Like she needs to eat all the time. She's a little food insecure, but other than that, she's chill.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's a good kitty. Did she come with that name or did you name her?
She came with that name, and I would have never thought of it. But then my boyfriend actually started reading the Hunger Games books, and he was like, "Man, this name is perfect for a cat."
Yeah.
Because she's a hunter. Katniss is like, she loves like watching birds and wanting to murder them and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you know that
has she started any revolutions recently though?
Not yet. No.
Not that you know of.
No, she and PETA haven't. Was that the dude's name, PETA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't. She hasn't fallen in love with PETA yet. Yeah, she hasn't won any Oscars. No.
Not one Oscar? What are you doing, Katniss?
I know.
Did you know that outdoor cats are like the #1 decimator of wild birds?
That doesn't surprise me. Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that footage of like somebody put a camera on their house cat and just like sent their house cat out in their daily life outdoors, and the cat was just like murdering birds?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the cat's instinct, right?
Yeah, keep your cat inside.
Well, there's one time like Katniss found a mouse in the apartment and she just like tortured it for 20 minutes. And the rest of the day she was so happy.
Yeah, cats will do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But she was like a different cat. She was just like, oh yeah. And so we like bought her because me and my boyfriend are both like really bad with mice in the house. Like we both get like freaked out. But she found it and was just like torturing it. And we bought her like a cat house and stuff as a reward.
See, Audrey is useless. We had 2 chipmunks in our house recently. And
really?
Yeah.
You had chipmunks? Did you name them Chip and Dale?
Yeah. I heard this like chip, chip, chip coming from downstairs, and then I see Audrey like cornering it, but she didn't like do anything. She's just like, hi. And it was just trying to attack her and like trying to find an escape route. And she's like, hi, you're a chipmunk. And then she just let it run by. She's like, okay. Like so
like,
useless.
oh, you're just on a delightful Disney cartoon adventure to rescue someone? Yeah. Go about your business.
We ended up getting one of those humane traps and releasing it in the park.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah, chipmunks are too cute. Like even squirrels, I could kind of see someone shooting, but like chipmunks are too cute.
Oh, they're so cute. And like they didn't do anything to the house. They just kind of like they were making a lot of noise. Because they would get into like the laundry ventilation system. So that made a lot of noise and they would just like run around and stuff. But they didn't eat any of the food or anything like that.
We don't have chipmunks in Newfoundland.
Really? Yeah, we don't. No. It's like too cold, I guess, or I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. We have squirrels. We don't have raccoons. As far as I'm aware. And there's no chipmunks. And there's no snakes. Except
because you're an island, I guess, because like most of the wildlife that's in a lot of places is brought over by ships. So rats and stuff like that will get on ships to get at the food and things like that, and they'll come over that way.
I think caribou were brought over. I thought
moose were brought over. Yeah,
caribou were indigenous. Okay, caribou were indigenous.
Caribou were indigenous. Moose were brought in, and now moose are like our number one road hazard. They're just an infestation. We've just been infested with moose.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. Like you can't drive. Like if you're on the highway, it's just like, oh, be careful. You'll drive into a moose, and the moose will just be annoyed, and you'll die. So
yeah, exactly. So Cindy mentioned earlier, I used to be a teacher. I'm not a teacher anymore, but I was a substitute teacher out on the Burin Peninsula one time, which is a sort of rural area. And one of my teacher friends came in to work, and she was like, "Oh, got to take my car into the shop." I was like, "Oh, that sucks. This is a normal, relatable problem." And she's like, "Yeah, a moose hit it."
It hit it?
It hit it. So the worst collisions are like moose vehicle collisions that happen head on, right? The moose is in the front and the car hits it. But like sometimes moose will run out onto the highway while the car is on the road and just hit it like sideways. And that's what happened to her. It hit it ran into the road and hit the back of her car and dented her car and left a bunch of fur. I have to imagine the moose was fine, but because it just went about, it ran across the rest of the road. She was like, "Oh, a moose hit me." And I was like, you're going to keep teaching today? Like that happened this morning and you're just going to go about your day? And she did.
If ever there was a Newfoundland story, that is one.
My favorite, when I was in junior high, there was a couple times there was warnings of black bears. They were like, "Guys, there's black bears around the school, don't go out." But as it turns out, someone's Newfoundland dog just kept breaking out of their yard.
That's cute.
That's hilarious.
That is more Newfoundland, to be like, "Oh, no, turns out this bear is actually really snuggly and sweet and drools a lot."
Yeah. I did see a black bear on the side of the road last summer, though. It was like a little baby cub. And I was on the highway and I pulled over so I could take pictures. I was like, "Oh, this is very cute." And my gut instinct, of course, stupidly, was to get out of the car. And Stacy was like, "Don't get out of the car. It's a bear." And it's a baby bear. The adult bear is somewhere around.
Very close by. Yeah.
But my gut instinct was like, "It's cute. I want to get out and see it.
I want to snuggle him."
Like, it's a bear.
Oh, that happens with raccoons.
It was really cute. It was really cute. It was just rolling around on the shoulder of the road. It was like not a care in the world. And I was like, "Go into the woods because someone for sure is gonna just pull over the side of the road and shoot it and like take it home. Like for sure, just go back in the woods, bear."
A friend of mine.
We saw a lot of bear in Alaska.
Oh, what?
We saw like brown bears, black bears, and grizzly bears in Alaska. One was trying to it was like stalking a hiker, and they're just like walking on the side of the road. They're like, "Is it still following me? I don't want to look." We're like, "Yeah. Do you want to get in the car?" She's like, "I'm almost at my car. It's okay."
Wow.
Alaska problems.
I don't. That is Alaska problems.
Hashtag Alaska problems.
Like, you know how they're supposed to, like, oh, with some bears you run in a zigzag and some you scream. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
If there's a bear, I forgot all that like outdoor Boy Scouts training shit. Like what do I do if I see a black bear? Just like cry.
Hey bear.
You just like wave around.
Yeah. You're just like, "I'm big."
I just assume at this point that I will die. So that's
if you can't spook it, you'll die.
Yeah.
You can't outrun it. You can't outclimb it. It does think of you as food. But generally, like, they don't see a lot of humans, so they run off. We encountered one when we were backpacking one time, and just kind of like, hey, and it ran off. It was fine, but in Alaska they can get a little adventurous.
I guess it depends on where you are. Like, bears that are in parks might be more used to humans than bears that
like you're at Denali National Park, which is very popular for hiking and camping and stuff like that.
Well, that's like raccoons in Toronto. They're so fucking brazen. Like, they'll come right up to you.
They're like, what do you got?
I didn't know Toronto's the raccoon capital of the world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were like that raccoon strong. Yeah, I figured it would be like somewhere else in like the States, but no, it's Toronto.
Apparently their poo is like highly toxic.
Oh yeah, you got to be so careful when you clean up their shit because it's full of viruses and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I'd rather have rats.
I don't think it's like. I don't know.
Furry burglars though, they're really cute.
I know, they're the sweetest little burglars. Like, the thing is like with rats, like they reproduce so quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
because they'll have like a whole litter of like 10 at a time.
Yeah, they reproduce so quick. Whereas like raccoons, I don't think reproduce that fast. I don't like. They're both not great. Like, if I'm not a homeowner, I rent, so I don't give a fuck. I'm like, I gotta call the landlord. But if I were a homeowner, I don't know. Like, I think I'd hate them both. But no, I think raccoons. I don't know. Nice one. Raccoons are cuter though.
Raccoons are super cute, and they've got little opposable thumbs. You're like a tiny little person burglar.
Yeah, you're just feeling the ground.
Once again, no raccoons in Newfoundland, so I'm just an observer. I'm like, raccoons, objectively very cute.
They are. Even in Toronto, where they ruin our lives sometimes, we're still like, oh, they're so cute. Like, there was this one that was like a bit like when they're walking around in the day, apparently that's when they're a bit sketchy or they're getting delirious. But even then, there's people like taking pictures of it, being like, "Oh, he's so cute. Let's give him grapes." So like, you're not gonna do that with a rat. You're not like, "Here's some grapes, rat."
I saw this picture of like the fattest squirrel you've ever seen, just like with an avocado in its hands.
Oh,
it's like hanging outside a Chipotle or something. It's getting all fat.
That rat eats well. Yeah, outside of a Chipotle. Whew.
Yeah, living the life. Man. I'm just watching people like on TV, like going out and clubbing and just like walking around downtown and things like that.
I know. Remember doing things? Remember like going to a pub and just talking to people?
Barely.
I was thinking when the Raptors won that season, when the Raptors won the basketball thingy.
Yeah.
Like for 2 weeks, Toronto was drunk. Like we were just drunk. We were out to bars every night, and it was so much fucking fun. And you were like hugging people you didn't know, and you were drinking. It was unreal. Like, we couldn't do that now. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Hugging strangers and stuff. I wonder if it'll go back to kind of how it was, if we get out of this alive. Where people.
Well, this took a dark turn.
It is Ontario, after all. Yeah. If it'll
I'm
go
already
back to...
kissing strangers on the mouth.
Yeah,
that's part of alert level 2. Is mouth kisses to strangers.
Yeah,
Veronic's got all the dating apps. She's got Grindr, even though she's not a gay man. You never know.
Like if we'll start, like, still maintain like the wanting to walk around with masks and stuff like that. I know in China they do that a lot. Already.
I think they did that prior to
that's what
COVID.
I meant. Like way prior.
That was one of the reasons they handled it better than us, is because they were used to like people. Remember when they chant with the COVID app and people were like, oh, what if the app knows what I'm eating? And it's like, no, that's not how the fucking thing works. But I think in some parts of like South Korea and China, the Bison knew it and they understood it and they were all willing to use the app.
Mm-hmm. They had already, like, when we had this is what I heard, but when we had the SARS outbreak, years ago, that was a while ago, they had it worse. And so like they prepared for pandemic situations a little bit better than I think.
Yeah, totally. They were used to wearing masks. Yeah, and they were not like, oh no, I can't. Like they weren't pissed off that they couldn't go to the grocery store. I can't go to Walmart. No.
Yeah.
You know, they were just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. yeah, like a lot of countries, some countries like question, you know, the government, and they won't be as compliant because they're more conspiracy theory oriented. That and just like they're like my liberty and stuff like that. But a lot of people are just like, okay, like the government says I should do this. Doesn't really bother me.
This is also a weird thing because I think they're in Thailand, and they cope. Like Thailand coped with the pandemic. I mean, at one point they were doing pretty well, and they were saying like, yeah, this is what happens when you live in like a dictatorship. Is that, you know?
Yeah, you gotta do it.
You can't fuck around. You can't fuck around a dictatorship. You can't be a Karen and be like, I want to speak to your manager. Like, there's no fucking Thai Karens.
Where's the manager of the dictatorship?
The dictator is the Karen.
Now.
The dictator is the Karen. Oh my god.
The manager is the Karen.
Is that what happens when Karens evolve? They get fucking dictators?
Like in Pokemon? Karen Pokevolved to
this isn't even my final form.
Oh man, that was one of my favorite things in the pandemic, is watching these fucking women just get like trounced, and they're like, I'm not wearing a mask, doop-a-doop-a-doop, I have an anxiety disorder. So they fucking start a fight in Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then they eventually get tased. Like this happens, like I just saw so many videos of like, some bitch gets mad, she has a health condition and can't wear a mask, and then she starts screaming, and then it goes online and everyone roasts her. Like it was just like my favorite part of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it still is, for that matter.
It's still going on.
Still going on, just like bitchy housewives just getting arrested and saying racist shit, and then they're like, "Oh,
I have to take a time out. I'm gonna be back in a second, okay?
All right, pause it.
Boo! I'm so sorry, Cindy.
I'm joking. I don't know why. I just love being an ass. I don't get to be an asshole as much anymore.
I haven't let the pandemic stop me from being an asshole. I've just continued.
We were trying to do all these like Netflix watch party apps and stuff like that, but I figured none of them like would allow us to display video, firstly, and secondly, like it would only have like a little chat on the side, and I'm like, that's not entertaining. But and also I couldn't post that to YouTube because you're literally showing copyrighted material on YouTube. So I'm like, the only way we can do it is a simultaneous watch. So that is what we're doing.
Like you cut the people's faces and then you see a bit and then you cut the...
Yeah. I'll put it on like a grid and everyone's face will be showing, you know, if they want to show their face, you don't have to show your face. Yeah. But just getting participants is fun. You know, just hearing.
How many people have signed up?
I think about 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm seeing if we can get more because it'd be really fun. Yeah. So excited. It'll be fun.
I've never done a watch party like that before.
Me neither. I did watch their commentary, and that's how they did it, because they're like, we couldn't figure out how to do it without like getting sued. So they just did the same thing, like press play.
Oh, okay.
And that was fun. I liked watching them like comment on their
stuff.
Show.
Oh, so they never had the right to put it on YouTube, duh.
No, because I mean, it's Netflix's property.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're just puppets. Netflix's game.
Oh, that's so tricky, right? Like you made it, but you
exactly.
sign over the rights.
Yeah, exactly. And like someone who doesn't have Netflix is like, oh sweet, I can watch this for free now.
Because that was the thing with South Park, because they would let people download it and stream it, but I think Viacom or whatever company owns it technically wouldn't let them, and so it got really hard to download and torrent and stuff.
Yeah,
because they'd be like, the creators were like, guys, watch it, like, you know, whatever, we just want people to see the show.
Yeah, I know for a long time the guys from Auntie Donna were like, watch it within like the first like month or two, because that's when the algorithm picks it up the most. So people are binging it within the first month, then they're like, all right, enough people are interested that we're going to give you season 2.
Yeah, kind of like YouTube.
And like they only make money for like a month. They only make money for like a month or something like that, and then the subsidiaries cut off.
Wait, really?
Yep.
That's wild. That doesn't seem fair.
Stop.
Yeah, that is
because
what
that's
I've learned.
Like their baby. I'd imagine that Netflix special that short season, like I'd imagine that's their baby because that, you know,
that seems wild
I
to me.
didn't find out till later who the hell they were.
Yeah.
So like I was like, who is Auntie Donna? Like we never see this lady in the show. And then I realized that's their like sketch comedy trio name. But I didn't find out till later. Otherwise I would have been like, hey, you know, watch it on different accounts and things like that. Support these guys. I don't know if it's too late or if like the watch party will like generate some views for them. Either way, it'll be good.
I'd imagine they have like a really weird niche like following, sort of like Rick and Morty had before it got huge.
Yeah, I think so. Like there's this group on Facebook and stuff like that where just people post memes of just Auntie Donna memes. It's mostly Australians who follow them. They don't have a huge following here.
Are they Australian? Yes. I don't know anything about them. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are from Melbourne. And I got some Vegemite. I'm gonna eat that live.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it live. I'm gonna eat it live, and then I'm gonna grab my garbage bin. It's gonna be right next to me the whole time.
Just maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll love Vegemite.
Who knows? I got a package of English muffins, so I'm gonna put it on English muffin because I like that better than toast. And we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
You never
figured it would be like a fun little extra add-on is me getting sick.
You know,
tampons are also good enough for Hugh Jackman. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, no, you got to be raised on. I've heard it's like it's one of those things like if you weren't raised on it, you're gonna find it repulsive.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell. I've also heard that eating it with an avocado is pretty good. So I might like have two, like one with avocado and one with not. Yeah. I have no like. I expected it to be like sweet, but I'm not sure anymore.
What's a Vegemite sandwich?
I don't know. It's like
from the song "The Land Down Under," where it's like
it's a yeast extract of some sort. It's very dark. And like, I'm not really sure. It's like very thick and dark.
Right.
So I was like, is it like molasses? Is it like, I don't know. So I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, I had Marmite in the UK. It's sort of similar. Like it was like this thing that they had in World War I to make sure people didn't, you know, have a vitamin deficiency. And it was like
this is like a more concentrated version of that.
Yeah, and I was in a hostel, and there was like me and this guy from Jordan, and he was super polite, and he wouldn't turn down any food, and they were like, yeah, try this Marmite, and you know he'd never been to. We were in Wales, and he wanted to be like super friendly and accommodating. So he just takes the shit and slathers it on bread like it's Nutella. You're only supposed to use like a little tiny bit.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Slathering it on, and you could tell he was like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" And he ate the whole fucking piece, and I was like, "Basil, man!" Like his name was Basil. I was like, "Dude, like, what are you doing? You don't have to do this." And even the locals were like, "Yeah, that we would understand if you threw it out." Like,
yeah,
it's abhorrent, but yeah,
like, and I don't know if I'll waste it. I don't know. We'll see. I have you to blame. My YouTube algorithm's all messed up. I keep getting recommended Trisha Paytas and like and mukbangs and like a bunch of other stuff. And then
mukbangs. Actually, no, mukbangs are not good because you just want to eat the shit that they eat.
Yeah. I was just like, I wrote down a few things to talk about. Would you rather suck a dead man's penis or a guy who hasn't bathed in 2 weeks in the summer?
So the living one.
The living one?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I don't know if Veronica has an opinion on this.
Yikes.
So gay. I don't... My brain just shut down.
You're like
you became gayer than you were.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't think I can see men anymore. I don't think that I can visually. I don't think my eyes will represent them anymore. I think is the answer to that.
I saw a really funny tweet. I think it was Jagmeet Singh. It was like a federal NDP person, and they were like, "Oh, thanks to lesbian activity, we got like X number of people elected." And I was like, "What kind of lesbian activity got you elected?"
Nice.
We will scissor our way to an NDP government. Just wait.
Yes,
I was like
queen.
a Birkenstock.
What
related marathon? Like what lesbian activity? Like I didn't even think sexy stuff. I just thought like, I don't know, like building things and trucks and I don't know. I was like, what? Bake offs and But yeah, scissoring too.
We will take over the stock exchange one Birkenstock at a time.
Oh man.
Nice.
Lesbian activity.
Lesbian activity. I love that.
I know, me too.
Thanks, Jagmeet.
Yeah, no, I was just like, that should be like on a t-shirt, like lesbian activity. Because like I grew up, my babysitter growing up was like a big old sci-fi lesbian. Like she was like super gay and loved sci-fi. And like I was sort of And she introduced me like all like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Star Wars and Star Trek and that shit. Yeah.
Nice.
Xena, a lot of Xena.
I would say, is it my current fiance, except that I know that she's too young.
Yeah, no, this chick is like in her 40s now, but yeah, she was a really good drawer, but yeah, she was
okay.
Because I think I was talking to your sister and I used the term sci-fi lesbian. She's like, is that a thing? And I'm like, well, I'm making it a thing.
It should be. It absolutely should be.
Yeah.
Stacy and I recently went through a Xena rewatch. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Yeah, it does, and it really doesn't. Like, it really doesn't. But it's very entertaining, start to finish. Just thoroughly entertaining, and it is very gay for a series that came out in the 90s. Like, the first couple of seasons, it's just like, oh, I think there's subtext, and then in the last couple of seasons, it's like, they took the sub out of that.
It's just like all text.
It's just all text.
It's just like aggressively lesbianic, yeah.
Yeah, but it's very goofy and silly, but it is, I would say, like a very entertaining, silly watch.
I used to love it. Maybe that's a little
Well, younger you was right.
Turn me by.
My boyfriend told me that his number one celebrity crush as a kid was Lucy Lawless.
Yeah.
And he was correct.
Yeah, he was totally correct. And I was like, wow. I know he told me because I think we were at, I don't know what we were doing. I think we were just like talking like, what celebrity would you marry? He's like, Lucy Lawless, like he didn't have to stop and think. Like,
no, Lucy Lawless, more like Lucy Flawless.
Yeah,
am I right?
Can I get an amen?
That woman has not aged either. It's insane.
I know.
No, Lucy Lawless is from New Zealand, and she has a very strong New Zealand accent.
Oh, nice.
Which is very charming when you watch like director's commentary or anything like that. But whenever she's like playing Xena, like when she was in The Simpsons, she has an American accent because she has an American accent in the show.
I'm not Xena. I'm
Lucy Lawless.
I'm not Xena. I'm Lucy Lawless, and she has an American accent in that. And I was like, why is no one pointing out this obvious flaw in The Simpsons?
I think it's like they can't handle the disruption of that fantasy. It's like, no, she's Xena. I want everything Xena about this woman.
Oh man, I love
Greek
from New Zealand.
warriors spoke with American accents. That's just the way that it was.
It fucks with me when Australians and New Zealanders speak with American accents. I'm like, no, what? No. So strange to me. Like, or vice versa. When you first hear like Hugh Jackman talk, you're like, that's just wrong. No.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Apparently they have to study like really, really hard. Like that's a part of the craft is like, we have to study how to speak like the most boring American person.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember
did you guys see American Accents 101?
Did you guys see Jojo Rabbit with Taika Waititi?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie, but like he does like that really goofy like Hitler German accent, and I was just like, this is weird. Because in What We Do in the Shadows, he's like a Kiwi person.
Yeah. He had a fake German accent in What We Do in the Shadows because he was supposed to be from Germany. Yeah.
Right, because he was. Oh yeah, right. Never mind. But I think the rest, like I think, remember the guy Chris, the guy they wanted to eat all the time.
Yeah. Everyone else is like very, 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 and even what's his name? The guy who was in Flight of the Conchords.
I know you're talking about
Davis, I think. He had an accent as well. He was like some sort of Scandinavian person.
Oh, that's right. I haven't seen that show in so long. I gotta think. That's another good like sort of sketch show.
Yeah, we've been making our way through that actually. We're on like episode 5.
I've never actually seen the show. I've only seen the movie.
Oh yeah?
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah, we just got, I think it's on Crave.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we've been like canceling and resubscribing and stuff like that to like get certain shows. So we're kind of making our way through that. Yeah. I'm watching that one, Alan versus Farrah, and
my god,
Woody Allen's getting canceled. Yeah, it's fucked. I recommend.
When I was a kid, I was like, do you just get away with crimes because you're really funny? Like, is that how charismatic this dude? Because when I was a kid, my brother loved Woody Allen. And
that's the reason I became funny. I was like, I want to murder someone.
Yeah.
It's totally fucked.
He did some really like sketchy shit. And everyone kind of acknowledged it, but they're like, "Oh, Woody." like
he's molesting.
Like Mia Farrow would be like, "This happened," or Dylan Farrow would be like, this happened, and be like, "Did it though? Did it?" And just everyone kind of wrote it off. But now that there's
sorry, go on.
Now that like a lot of the Me Too movement, the cancel movement has kind of come in, I think more people are actually taking people seriously, like women seriously.
Well, that was the thing. It's like, they're just making it up for clout. It's like, but you don't want to be known as the person who got molested by Woody Allen, So I don't know why.
That's not bragging rights. I don't think.
No, it's not. It's really,
there are so many of them. How do you distinguish?
Right? Like he literally married his quasi stepdaughter.
Yeah,
that's a little fucked. I don't know.
Yeah,
but like some people
I love his movies. I love his movies, but
a lot of his movies, though, if you watch them, have those kinds of themes of like a very old man who's kind of offbeat and weird with a very young woman. And even if there are redeeming qualities within the film, it's like, oh, that's an odd. It's not an odd theme. It's like, that's an obvious theme for a man who wants to make it seem like a relationship between a very young woman and a very old man is a-okay. It's like, just it feels like there's an agenda.
It's weird because I'm like you always have these like beautiful leading women, and he's just like this kind of scrawny nothing guy, and you always play the guy in the movie. You just be like,
But even in Midnight in Paris,
what I was thinking of is, what's the one with Emma Stone and Colin Firth? That's the one I was thinking of.
I don't remember. There's so many.
Yeah, he makes like a movie a year or something, right?
Yeah,
a movie a year, pretty much.
But I think that was the thing that got Louis C.K. in a lot of trouble, is that like there was those rumors always existed. Like I remember like years and years before that broke, those rumors about him just like being a perv. And then he made that movie for TIFF, which was like about a dude and like a really young woman, and then all the shit just blew up.
Yeah.
Like those.
That Chris D'Elia, is that his name?
Chris D'Elia.
Oh, D'Elia. Okay, yeah. He he made a show like that was about a guy who was like interested in really, really young women or something like that. It was like some kind of, and then he and then he himself was essentially that character guy in real life. Yeah.
So and everyone's like, "Oh, I didn't see it coming." It's like they made a fucking movie. Like Woody Allen made multiple movies where this was the theme. Like this complicated guy and this really young woman who's like, "Oh, your neurosis is so charming."
It's kind of like a
right what tape. You know, am I right?
Yeah, well, that's
exactly.
what they did. Yeah.
I wonder if like there's some deep-seated psychological thing where like they're writing it down as a confession tape to normalize the situation. Be like, see, that was okay. It was okay because you paid to go see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm so funny and you love how funny I am, so I should be able to marry my fucking daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. Exactamundo.
So do you have any different questions, invasive questions to ask us? Did you write down any other?
I wrote down I didn't have any questions, but it was more like, what fashion trends would you not like to ever see come back?
Bucket hats. That's funny to Cindy Basha only. That's only funny to her. I used to wear a bucket hat like every day from, I want to say, like 2002 to 2008.
Wow.
It was way too long. It was far past the point where bucket hats were fashionable. Like,
yeah, but it's Newfoundland, so there's a little bit of lag there.
Yeah, there is a little bit of lag.
There's an hour and a half lag.
And me being half hour, we're a half hour early. I'll have you know. Except in fashion when we are 10 years late.
The thing that gets me is like, there's certain like fucking, okay, so there's certain hairstyles that are very like, are so Newfoundland, like the fluorescent or like the copper red hair and the chunky highlights.
Yeah.
Like, and the women with the spikes, like I find that so common in Newfoundland. And I saw this story about a guy who was like, he was a Syrian refugee and he was a really good like hairstylist back in Syria, like a really well-known hairdresser. And he ended up in St. John's. And I see him doing this woman's hair and it's that fucking copper color and he's giving her spikes and chunky highlights. And I was like, there's part of this man that's dying right now. This part of him is just like, why?
Chunky highlights are definitely on my list. I also am going to veto really, really low-rise jeans where you actually have to wax like
the top of your cooch just so you could fucking
you can see girls like razor burn. That is too low.
And then the shirts got a bit of a, like the shirts were always a little bit high, so they would show like the bottom of your belly button.
Yeah, so every time you bent over, you'd either see a butt crack or like a thong. So it's either like you're gross or you're slutty.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not seeing the problem here. Sounds good to me.
Bring black t-shirts on girls.
I remember like the eyeliner and the waterline too, like every fucking day. Like I put it on the top once just to see what would happen.
I don't mind a bit of eyeliner in the waterline. What I did mind was like the frosty silver fucking eyeshadow. That 2001 Claire's accessories, that fucking eyeshadow. And then like you couldn't buy colored eyeshadow. Everything was like a frosty pastel. And everyone looked like they had psoriasis on their eyelids.
Yeah. It's coming back though a little bit.
Sort of, yeah. Some of it, I don't think it's as like heavy duty, but like it's still pretty weird. You're right. It's coming back. I see people wearing just like these shapeless shirts, like these heavy striped shapeless shirts, or like the big shapeless like Levi's jeans. Like remember we had the what was that brand? The Django jeans, like the huge fucking jeans you could like smuggle a child.
Like you got them from Randy River, those ones?
Yeah. Big fucking jeans. Yeah,
I have a question. Do you remember mod robes? Those like fleece pants with like a clip at the top. Was I the only one who wore those?
Maybe that was an Ontario thing.
Maybe, yeah.
I vaguely like there was a very little part of me that remembers fleece pants, but
they were invented in Waterloo. Someone in the University of Waterloo invented them.
That's actually
yeah. And then they became super trendy for a while.
When you go to Waterloo, it says the invention of those fleece pants with the clip.
Yeah, that's under their accomplishments.
Yeah.
They want people to forget about blackberries, so they're like, "Oh, we also invented fleece pants."
With like a fucking buckle.
Everyone's crotch was stinky. It was great.
They're pretty cozy. I like them.
I don't know that it's a fashion trend that I hate, but like, do you remember tearaway pants? Like,
yeah,
the pants with the buttons along.
That's still a thing, and
is it?
Yeah, it came back.
Or the cutoff jeans where like you unzip them. That's sexy, guys. Definitely do that if you want to get a girl. Actually, publish that on Tinder if you ever have those jeans. Just write that as the first sentence of your Tinder profile.
I wear tearaway
pants. Tearaway pants, or zip away short jeans.
I was at Hot Topic when shit was open, and I remember seeing a bunch of like emo, like My Chemical Romance shirts and stuff like that, and I was like, "You fucking kids, come here! Come here!" I never got into emo music, and the fashion, like the weird hair, like the really like flat and dark hair and the heavy eyeliner.
My parents did not let me do that, and I'm so grateful for them being overprotective at that point of my life. I wanted to get the funky hair and everything like that because it was trendy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I wouldn't say I was an emo. I really liked the music, and I really liked metal music and things like that. And just desperately trying to be one of the cool kids, which I was never.
When I was in high school, I used to wear the Randy River like gigantic pants. I look at pictures of myself now, I'm like, oh, highly unflattering. Like, like I'm a fat person, but like my legs looked like there were 15 legs in one pant leg. It's like, wow, it was very unflattering, very like not a great look.
Yeah, I used to have those too.
Yeah.
Like, I had the ones too with like the chains and like the cross thing
hanging
off. Yeah.
I had pants that had a mysterious pocket in the crotch that I assumed was either for weed or a condom. It was one of the two.
It's for crack.
Oh, okay. But crack, wouldn't that be by the butt? No, never mind.
No, that's where you keep your pipe, and then in the front you keep the actual crack.
Okay. Where's your lighter go?
Know this from a friend.
Where does your lighter go?
Vag?
In your highlighters.
No, it can go anywhere because it's not illegal to have a lighter. There you go.
So you say your cooter? It goes in your cooter.
When in doubt, store it in your cooter.
Yeah, I said cooter.
Just don't flush.
Remember when people were dyeing their hair like those really weird red coppery shades? Like that was the shit. Like everyone had like a weird, like brownie red.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then like people would dye their hair at home. I remember my old roommate Rebecca would do that, and it looked like a fucking murder scene in the bathroom when she was done.
Yeah, I did that a few times myself.
And I was like, "Stop dyeing your hair; it's not the color." And she was like, "No, it's awesome."
Yeah, I've been every color. I've been like really, really blonde, really, really dark brown, red,
pink.
No, that was a wig.
That was a wig.
The purple I like, and I'm like, purple, eh?
But that was actually a really cool wig.
Yeah,
that was a good wig. It was a really good wig.
It had like a little side bang, and I think I'm actually gonna cut that bang.
Where did you get your wig?
Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah,
like $15. So I've been just like ordering wigs. I want to order a bunch of beards and a bunch of like guys' wigs also for sketches, because I'm going to be playing a guy in a lot.
Because they don't need to be good quality. It's not like you're on fucking Drag Race. Like,
yeah, exactly. I don't need like human hair.
Yeah,
I'm good with synthetic. I actually prefer not to wear someone else's hair unless I need to.
I was almost gonna sell my hair when I was in university and was broke. I was like, maybe I should sell my hair and make some money, but
it's lucrative.
But like you have to grow your hair so long, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, and you can't dye it or anything.
Yeah, it has virgin hair.
I actually used to donate my ponytails to like a charity that would make wigs for cancer patients, because like my hair is pretty short now, but it would be like, I would say out to here. Wow. Like it was really, really long.
That's awesome. I always wanted to do that, but I like to dye it too much.
Yeah. I cut off like 12 inches of hair one year, and I sent it to Locks of Love, and they never received it. So I was thinking like some pervert at the post office. Just like,
whoa. Gross. So
at least it was appreciated. At least someone got some.
Someone has your hair. Someone
they still have that hair.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, they still have it. It's like probably on some doll somewhere, like on a fuck doll or something.
Oh, I'll meet you someday, Cindy Basha.
Yeah.
I know they got it because they sent me a letter.
Some dinner,
they sent me letters.
Yeah, because my return address is on there. I would have appreciated a letter being like, "Hey, this is me, like, I don't know, doing
this sex doll."
Yeah. They don't do that anymore because technology has apparently advanced so much that synthetic hair is actually better for people because it's like lighter and it still feels natural, but it's
really?
Yeah, so they don't accept donations of real hair anymore for that particular charity that I used to donate it to.
Yeah.
Because technology has just marched on, but I donated for several years.
They use it now for cleaning up oil spills.
Human hair.
It's very absorbent.
Okay.
So you can still donate it for any like
save some birds from Exxon Valdez or whatever.
Yep.
But like
clean up the BP spill, which is still I have to assume still.
I know once things lose interest, people lose interest in things, they just seem to go away.
They're like, whatever.
Things don't matter anymore.
Whatever.
Like Kim Kardashian did some shit we forgot about ExxonMobil. It's like, oh, she made a sex tape. It's like what about?
Like, remember the Australian wildfires? As soon as COVID hit, people were like, wait, what? Oh yeah, the wildfires. Is that still a thing?
Australia is upset. Look, we got our own problems now. We can't look at some koalas now.
Yeah, I don't care about the koalas anymore. I care about my own fucking health. Yeah.
Poor koalas.
They have chlamydia.
They do have chlamydia. We did cover that in one of the podcasts.
Sorry, the koalas have chlamydia?
Yeah, koalas can bite you and give you chlamydia. We had one episode of the podcast was called Koalas and Chlamydia.
Because there was John Oliver did an episode of Last Week Tonight about how the Irwins actually named their koala chlamydia award after him.
Oh my god.
And he was like that, and what happened is he was like, "This is the biggest accomplishment of my life to have the koala chlamydia award named after me. I'm done." And he walked off stage, and people were like, "Did he just end the series?" And he was like, "No, but it was just like, how else could I top that?"
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they have chlamydia. They're so cute. Apparently they're dicks though. Like apparently they're huge assholes.
Yeah.
They're not
them
bears.
And kangaroos.
Yeah.
The question was like on the podcast was, would you rather be bitten by a koala bear or be kicked by a kangaroo? And Joel and I said the kangaroo, and Courtney said the koala, but I'm kind of changing my mind now. I think I'd rather get bitten by the koala. Endure the scar.
Chlamydia is treatable.
Chlamydia is treatable.
That's just it, yeah.
I guess a kick to the sternum is pretty rough.
Well, he could kick you in the face, and then you're just like brain dead.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Don't
like a bite is like from a koala is not gonna like cause.
Kangaroos are nothing to fuck with. Like kangaroos are.
Don't fuck with kangaroos.
Yeah, don't.
If I learned one thing from Kangaroo Jack,
the best movie ever made.
And you said it, but we're all thinking it.
Just saying,
the Citizen Kang of kangaroo movies.
Citizen Kang. Well, as kangaroos movies go,
Citizen Kangaroo.
Yes. I'm gonna say yes, because I have not heard of any other kangaroo movies, unless I'm mistaken.
The only other movie I know that definitely has a kangaroo is Rescuers Down Under, which is a great movie and better than Kangaroo Jack, but it's not about kangaroos. It's not about kangaroos. So there you go. The Oscar goes to Kangaroo Jack as best kangaroo movie of all time. So until
beat that Spielberg.
My pitch goes through for a kangaroo love story on the Titanic.
Yes. It's going to be like sort of like a Noah's Ark sort of situation where they have to get like two of every animal, and it just like gets a ton of kangaroos by accident, and
It's just all kangaroos fucking. It's a kangaroo orgy.
Yeah, it's just
angry kangaroo orgy. It's like,
kangaroos
it's called kangaroo orgy.
Beat the shit out of all the other animals, throw them off the boat, and then they have their little kangaroo Titanic.
Much like the real Titanic,
by James
undone by kangaroos.
Oh, James Cameron.
I saw a really funny video. It was a guy who was just like in the outback and he was driving and a koala got in his car and he's like, come on, mate, get out of there. And the koala was like, no. And it was just him being like, oh, come on. It was like 10 minutes and the guy just pleading with the koala. The car was like air conditioned and shit, right? And so the koala was like, I'm not leaving here. Fucking 900 degrees outside.
I hit the jackpot.
Yeah, and he was like scratching up the car and shit. He was like, oh, I'm gonna scratch up the seat. And the guy's like, oh man, can you like get in my car, please?
Why do you get leather seats in Australia?
It was just really sad. And the car
Man,
was,
yeah,
like,
leather seats in Australia though, like your thighs must always stick to that hot leather. Would not recommend. Get that mid-size mid-luxury car with the fabric seats. Spring for that.
Even the fabric seats at that point would be pretty hot.
Everything hurts. At that point, it's so hot. Like everything just hurts all the time.
Yeah.
My knowledge about Australia.
Just don't live in Australia.
I don't know
there's
the
my
peak temperature versus like low temperature. I don't know if it's lower in winter. Like if it's just like a Canadian summer there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So this is a weird question. So, so I'm currently in a heterosexual relationship with a boy. He can't find things in the apartment. Does that, like, he's always like, oh, where's this, where's that? And it's like right in front of him. Does that happen in other relationships, or because I've heard other straight women make this complaint?
It happens with me, and it's like I will look for something and not find it, and Stacey will be like, it's in the drawer, and I'm like, I have looked in the drawer. Like, you think that I didn't look in the drawer? Of course I looked in the drawer. And then she'll pull open the drawer, and then it's somehow materialized in the drawer. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess that happened. And sometimes, very rarely, it will happen the other way around, where I will know where something is and she won't. But mostly it's me to her, and I'll be like, where is this thing? She's like, it's here. And I'm like, no, I already checked there. And she's like, okay.
You're like, damn it, woman. No, because me and my boyfriend have the same issue. He's like, where's this thing? And I'll be like, it's right in front of you. He's like, well, it's not where the thing was an hour ago. And I was like, I didn't know I had to fucking mark everything in the house. Like, it's like if something isn't like in the exact same spot where it was the day before, he's like,
For me, I don't even know. Like, it might just be a me personally thing.
It could be you, yeah.
But it's like I'll open a drawer, and I guess I don't expect it to be there, but I know that I should look. So I'll open it. I'll be like, it's not there. Put it away. And then Stacey's like, no, I know that it's there. So she'll open the drawer, find it instantly, and I'll feel like such an idiot because I definitely looked. I just couldn't find it. Like, and maybe it's just my brain going, it's not supposed to be there. So even though it's in front of me, I'm like, it's not supposed to be there. So I see it, but it's not there. Like, I don't know what it is, but that does happen to me personally.
Oh my God, it's so weird. You're so much like your sister. Like, I know this is like sort of like, yeah, I just like, you know, when you were like, oh, that's that person's sibling. Like,
it's true.
My friend will see me at metal shows and he'll be like, you're a nothing like your brother, because he worked with my brother. That's how we know each other. And he's just like, dude, you are nothing like your brother, which is like so strange to me. What?
Avril and I act a lot alike. I don't think we look a lot alike, but we definitely like have very similar mannerisms.
We're kind of the opposite. We act differently, but kind of look similar. I don't know, but people wouldn't necessarily go up to us and be like, you are brother and sister.
Like, in retrospect, like, Deb and her brother makes sense. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I saw your brother a few times. But Veronica is like reminding me of like her sister and like Dina from Superstore. In a good way.
I love Dina. Dina's awesome.
I love Dina.
I watched Superstore recently with Stacy, and I did, and I love it. And you know the like double ponytail that she does in the first few seasons? Yeah. I was like, oh, I did the double ponytail for so many years. I was like, this is a direct parody against me, Veronica Dymond. Whoever wrote this series saw me personally and made this character specifically to mock me, Veronica Dymond. I don't know how they learned about me, but they did it directly to reference me.
Personally attacked by this show.
Personally attacked. I do love Lauren Ash, who plays Dina. It's a really fun series, and she's a really fun character. But I definitely, if they didn't try to make her so overtly heterosexual, which
I know,
I don't understand.
Clearly a lesbian, like this character.
Clearly. Just go there.
At least bi. I mean, come on.
At least, right? But
what other movie did I watch? Oh, fucking the Marvel one with the chick, Miss Marvel, or not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And that black chick, they were clearly like lesbian lovers.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a thing, like if you watch WandaVision, the little girl who grows up, who's the daughter of the woman, she has like some sort of issue with Captain Marvel, but they don't really touch on it that much. Like one of the guys is just like, I know you have your differences or whatever, but they don't really touch on it. So I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Okay, I haven't seen WandaVision.
Because she thought Captain Marvel.
Oh, you got to see WandaVision.
Was her alternate mother figure, and she resents her for going away.
She never came back, I don't think, to visit when she said she would. I like Captain Marvel. She's pretty.
I liked it a lot. It was a good Marvel movie.
It was a really fun Marvel
solid
movie.
Yeah,
I like
it was a fun.
Really heavy, the 90s references, like the Nine Inch Nails shirt and shit. I was like, yeah.
It's
9 Inch Nails.
Yeah. Crashing into a Blockbuster, and it's like,
yes,
oh, right in my heart, right in my 90s kid heart. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Going to a payphone?
You know what?
Oh my god!
If you think of Blockbuster, can you think of the smell of Blockbuster?
Are you referencing that documentary on Netflix?
No, I'm not. But I'm just thinking about. I did see that though, but I know exactly what they mean. You can remember the smell. It's so weird.
It's a little bit like mold, but clean.
Sanitized mold.
Yeah, I guess it's like, I don't know. It smells like the video cases mixed with like popcorn or something.
Well, what you gotta remember is that a lot of movie people are like, there's a lot of like hardcore movie people who are like kind of gross and didn't shower. So I think there might have been a bit of that in the
air. I remember that from working at the game store. I remember that smell.
I remember the Blockbuster used to have
summer.
It used to have that like carpet, but it wasn't real carpet. It was like that square dial carpet that you would place. Yeah. And I feel like at some point it just got really humid and the humidity never left.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That with like some BO from like some cranky movie nerd who's like, and like, I don't have this indie movie I want.
Very old popcorn.
Yes, like outdated popcorn, expired popcorn.
Whereas
we haven't sold popcorn for years, but it still lingers.
It lingers just like Paul, who used to criticize us for not having certain movies.
Damn it, Paul.
Oh my god, yeah, it was because I watched the documentary and I just like part of me wanted to cry because I remember going. Well, my case was Allen's Video, which was like a video chain in St. John's.
Did you go to the Allen's Video that was on Elizabeth, or the Allen's Video that was on Highland Drive?
I went to both because I lived in both neighborhoods.
Okay.
But the one on Elizabeth, I like befriended. I was old enough like I could befriend the movie people, and I could like, I want these people to like me, and I want them to think I have good taste in movies. And I remember getting the 7 for 77.7, like 7 movies for 7. And like, that's your fucking week. You have a long weekend. Like, you're done.
7 movies, 7 days for $7.77.
Yeah. None of the newer movies, like they were kind of picky. Like, okay, this is, but worth it.
Yeah. I remember that deal extensively. And then the video cassettes that they put them in, they had like the original cassette tape box art initially, like the original stuff, but then they had it in a plastic case.
Yes,
you had to squeeze appropriately so that the cassette would actually come out.
So many times you'd be like, you have greasy hands, you'd be like, I can't get it out because you're too full of pizza grease or something.
Or popcorn grease or whatever.
Popcorn grease or just sweat or BO. Like, just, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'd be like, you've rented this movie 8,000 times. Do you want to buy it? And you're like, no.
I don't need it in my collection, but I need it.
I just need to rent it.
And then you'd buy like 70 warheads too, because they were at the counter.
Yeah, they had those impulse warheads. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like warheads. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Rogers Video became a thing in Canada.
Yeah.
They tried to copy Blockbuster, but then they also sell cell phones, which is weird.
Yeah. The old Allen's Video on Elizabeth is now some sort of, I think, like design company. And the one that was on Highland Drive is a salon.
Cool. That makes me sad. I remember Jumbo Video too. I remember my brother worked at Jumbo Video.
Yeah, I like Jumbo Video because Jumbo Video had hard tile floors, so it didn't have that mold smell.
I remember Jumbo Video. There was one on Torby Road where they would give out free popcorns. Like, you go in, browse around, and they had to stop it because too many people were coming in, like, just eating popcorn all day. They were like, "You fucking douchebags!"
Yeah, absolutely. They also had an adults only section, which I don't remember Allen's Video having.
The weird curtain,
like the weird curtain with the beads. Yeah, and that's the only barrier, but it's like the beads made noise, so you couldn't slip in because if you tried to slip in, the person would see you.
The beads will obscure all their vision. It's like, no, it's not obscuring a thing. But like, I remember going in there once as a kid, and I was like, why is this blocked off? It's just like naked people. Who gives a shit? Like, Lion King is out the fucking. Like, Lion King is out there. This is
the lions are naked. I don't get it.
I'm naked right now.
That lion has a hose.
I remember Jumbo Video used to give out popcorn though, so they actually smelled like popcorn.
Yeah, but it was like good popcorn. It wasn't like expired, burnt Orville Redenbacher.
My dad would go through the bins.
It was fresh.
Yeah,
it was fresh.
Yeah.
And
but
then
sometimes
additionally,
they burn it. So.
Oh, that's true.
But my dad used to go in there and bring me in there a lot, and just like in Blockbuster and anywhere, and just scour the bins trying to find anything that was like old. And that might be worth a lot of money, and then he sold them on eBay and stuff like that. So
that's cool. It's not a bad idea.
But mostly just kept them for himself. So I spent a lot of time in those places, just like waiting for him to finish scouring the bins.
Yeah,
I want to go. I found a movie to rent. Can I just go?
Yeah. I remember
you can't rent a movie from here because we're like downtown Toronto and we live like an hour away.
At the old Allen's on Highland Drive, they had like one of those like sandwich boards, and they would put all of the new releases on it, and then whoever was creative and worked there would make a little drawing about it. So if it was Jumanji, it would be like a little like a little leaf, and if it was, I don't know, Anaconda, it would be like a little snake.
Yeah,
that's great.
It was really sweet.
I'm like, that person can draw. I like that person.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're having a little bit of fun while they work here. They might work at a chain, but they're having a little fun.
Like at the Cineplex when they had like their favorite movie under their name tag. I never got that when I worked there. That thing wasn't a thing at the store yet.
They're like, you're not allowed to have a personality.
Yeah, you are an automaton. You sell tickets and popcorn and upcharge them for a large. Like we had like motivationals like to sell the larger popcorn.
What would they give you? Would they be like, "Oh, Deb, you sold 2 popcorns. Here's a popsicle"? Or
they gave us like gift cards, like for the theater, like extra tickets.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I was always the top, which was great. Because we did have like a promotion where if you got a large, we would give you a voucher that gave you a certain amount off on your movie. What I would omit is that it's only Monday through Thursday.
Oh.
So I was a complete
You
dickbag.
slut.
I know. But like I wanted them tickets.
Everyone I knew that there was the Cineplex in I think it was the Avalon Mall in St. John's, where like everyone I knew had just like bad like injuries from there. They'd be like, oh yeah, I burnt off a layer of my skin from like the nacho cheese or like
oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely eaten human flesh from there. Like,
Oh God.
You eat someone's like tattoo burn off.
And now I've got a taste for it.
Like oh man, that was always a shitty place to work though, the Cineplex, wasn't it? Like you had to work really long hours.
It
like,
didn't used to be called Cineplex. Cineplex was really recent. It was Empire Theaters.
Oh, that's right.
Way back when, if you recall.
The Empire.
Yeah. The Empire, exactly. And then Cineplex came in. I mean, it was a while. It's been a long time, but Empire Theaters was the original, that as long as I have lived in Newfoundland.
Yeah, I remember when I was there, it was Empire. So they weaseled their way in, I see.
They weaseled their way in.
I remember they had the first Taco Bell in St. John's, and I was like, oh, we have a Taco Bell, we've made it.
And then it immediately disappeared. Immediately, we no longer had a Taco Bell, and it was like, we lost our status as a Taco Bell holding province. There's no Taco Bell in New, and I like, this is shameful, but I really want a Taco Bell here. Like,
I know it would do really well in St. John's.
Yeah, I just want a place where you can get a really shitty taco for like $1.50.
Yeah,
I want to hate myself for $1.50.
I want to hate myself so bad for $1.50, right? We had that once. Why can't we have it again? Where's the politician?
My neighbor was ordering Taco Bell and he had it delivered, and I was like, excuse me, did you have Taco Bell delivered? Because I didn't think there was any in this neighborhood. He's like, yeah, if you go to the website, they'll deliver. And I was just like, and then my cat like followed, because my cat was like, I have to walk her in the hallways because otherwise she just like goes crazy. And she was like, yo, I want Taco Bell. Like she was like following him into his apartment because she wanted his Taco Bell. So yeah, I know what I'm getting tomorrow for breakfast. A gordita.
And now I'm jealous of you, even though Ontario is infested with COVID.
Even though
you're also infested with Taco Bell.
I know.
At least we have Taco Bell. At least we have that going for us.
At least you have Taco Bell.
We have.
At least you can get Taco Bell by delivery.
Yeah.
Oh man. I remember in the States you get 5 tacos for $5. My brother would spend like $30. And he would just live off.
Of course you would. Why not?
Yeah. And he'd live off it for like 2 days. He'd be like, well, it's a good deal. And I was like, you don't have to eat it because it's a good deal. He's like, yes, you do. Man, people are still hooking up and shit in the quarantine. Like my neighbor was like hooking up with some dude.
Yeah, people like dating must be so strange. Like people in their 20s, we want to like hook up. But I mean,
but what if you end up with fucking COVID? Because you got, and like it wasn't even good sex, and you're just like, fuck, I had like an awkward night, and now I have COVID. I should have worn my fucking furry. Should have used the glory hole.
Should have used the glory hole. I should have used my face condom, and I didn't.
Oh my god, that is the name of this podcast. I should have used the glory hole.
Why did I do what the BC government recommended and like BC signed? With the BC Ministry of Health.
Oh my god, yeah.
BC only fisting.
We only recommend doggy style because you're facing away, right? Yeah.
Now, would you rather be like a slutty 19-year-old now or back when we were slutty 19-year-olds?
When we were 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
You think it's worse now?
Like right now? Absolutely.
No, I mean
everything
like 2019.
Okay.
I think like if it's 2019 but COVID doesn't exist, it's probably still better to be in 2019 than 2009.
I think it's more acceptable for like girls to just be like, I want to hook up with somebody. Instead of being like slut shamed nowadays. So I've been watching some TV shows and I'm like, it doesn't seem like such an issue now. but I could be wrong. I'm just like
I think
an old-fangled woman.
More shit gets recorded now, though. Like more shit gets captured on like film and TikTok and shit.
That is true.
So,
cyberbullying and stuff.
But like, let's just say you hook up with some dude and there's a picture of you from that night. And someone put it on like you know Instagram or TikTok. Like that shit was a little more on the DL back in the day.
Yeah, so like some, like really like stuff that could have been recorded and they would not want shown. I should probably delete this from the podcast. So it's some questionable things.
But like I think everyone does it, but no one. But like you don't want it held against you someday.
Yeah. So the fact that the stupid shit that we did when we were teenagers does not get recorded. Obviously, that's way better when we were younger. But I don't know. I still think there's a lot of stuff that's a lot better nowadays than it was when we were younger.
Yeah. I guess it's like give and take. Yeah. Some stuff. Like certain things now, like if you do, you're like, well, I can never run for governor.
Would you have run for governor otherwise?
No, but like if you're 18 and if you're 18 and just doing stuff and something gets recorded and you're like, nope, that's it for me.
I don't know. I kind of
feel major from poli-sci.
I kind of feel like people who are teenagers nowadays who are being shitty, when they are ready to run for governor, they'll be able to be like, I was shitty, but I was a teenager. And people will just kind of write it off because everybody kind of recognizes that they were shitty. I don't think that it's going to be quite the same stigma.
Yeah, people are going to be as up. People are like, remember like when Bill Clinton was like, I didn't inhale weed. And it was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like,
I never got a blowjob from that person. Yeah, and nowadays we're like, oh, you just got a blowy from a consensual adult?
You're oh my God. Yeah, Jesus.
Right? Our bar has been way lowered.
Right?
Yeah. But you know, I don't know, like now there's like dating apps and shit like that, but I don't know whether that makes it easier or harder. Although St. John's, like everyone knows each other anyway. Like that's kind of it's the good and bad with small town. Everyone knows each other. So it's like shit just
Yeah. St. John's is really hard because you can't like blow your nose without running into someone who knows your nan, right?
Yeah.
And I know for gay people in St. John's, like the queer community, they're just like, oh God, we've all had sex with each other already.
Yeah. It's astonishing that Stacey and I met. Like it is truly like astonishing. She's originally from Labrador. We met through a mutual friend who, my friend Erica is a comedian and I'm a comedian, and Erica is from Labrador and Stacey is from Labrador. And that was our connecting point. Other than that, we would never have met. We would never have connected. We would never have talked. And like, I've spoken to many people in the queer community in Newfoundland, but like, it's so small that like, it's so small that if you're dating, right, and you don't really have a connection, you're just like, well, I guess goodbye. Like that's it. And I don't know. It's
like even being like a straight person trying to date in St. John's, the thought of it is just like, oh fuck, imagine going on Tinder. Like, oh
yeah.
So
and there's limited. There are so
like,
few.
Slept with him, slept with
or like my friend dated him and he's off limits, or like I could be cousins with him, he's off limits.
Exactly.
I know too much about this fucking person. They like drank a lot of glue in high school. Like I don't know. Like
and within the queer community, it's like if you go on a different dating app, it is exactly the same people. Like it's not just like, oh, maybe this person uses this app, but this group uses this. No, everyone uses exactly the same apps. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I think when I was in St. John's, I actually downloaded Tinder and I was like, I know half these people and the other half I don't care to get to know. Or like, oh, I'm sure.
Fair.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I'm not ragging on the dudes from St. John's. I know a lot of people who moved to Newfoundland. Like that's why we get a lot of like incoming people, because they marry a Newfoundlander. But like just because you know everyone,
that charm, right?
That charm. I had so many props who were like, I moved here because I married a Newfoundlander and I can't, and like I like them, but your weather's shitty. Like,
yeah, like I know so many people who've ended up in Newfoundland for the same reason. It's like, I married a Newfoundlander, and I guess I live in this hole now.
I'm one of you now. They made me get screeched in, and I felt a little awkward about it.
I kissed a fish, and now I live here.
And everyone laughed at me. They made me do it, and then they laughed.
And they laughed. I drank some liquor, and they gave me a piece of paper and made me say something. I guess I live here now, and that's how I immigrated. It's a really strange process.
And now I don't see the sun anymore.
And you don't it's a little bit of a, like, it's half a joke but sincere.
Yeah,
we saw the sun like 3 times this week.
Jesus.
We had not seen the sun for like 2 weeks previous. It was rain and rain and rain and fog and rain and fog.
Yeah.
Like the past 3 days we've had sun, and every like cashier that you go to at the grocery store, anytime you have like a random interaction with someone, it's like, girl, we saw the sun recently. And that's like legit. That's just how it is. It's like, yeah, we saw the sun for the first time in 3 weeks. But
I brought my mom to Newfoundland.
We don't have COVID.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. It's
yeah,
like,
I would take
isolated for better.
I would take shitty weather for COVID, like rather than.
Oh
COVID.
yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
When my mom went there, when she came to visit, it was sunny like every single day she was there. I'm like, this is not an accurate representation of what this is like here. But enjoy it. Except when we went to Cape St. Mary's. When we went to Cape St. Mary's, like everything's foggy there always.
Yeah.
So that was foggy then, but
very lucky, very rare occurrence. But you know, there's lots of shitty parts about living in Newfoundland. Like there's lots and lots and lots, but there are some good stuff too.
Snowmageddon. You guys have fucking Snowmageddon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the lockdown hit, and you're like, Jesus, we can't cut a break in this little island.
Yeah, Snowmageddon was really fucked. We had like the snowstorm of the century, and not just like the 2020 century, like the worst snowstorm we'd had in 100 years or something. We had to call in the Canadian Army to dig us out.
Yeah.
And it was intense. Like everything got shut down. If you were out on the road and you didn't have a reason to be, the police would pull you over and be like, what are you doing? Why are you out on the road?
Yeah.
Because they needed the roads cleared to plow them, because the plows could barely get through.
Yeah.
The snow was so high. I was taller than I was. Yeah. And I'm 5'4", so I'm not that tall. But like the snow was taller than I was.
Yeah.
And in some places it was like way taller.
Yeah.
And just incredible. There was enough space in the street where I have currently. There's enough space that, like, I would say if you had to try, 3 cars could get through. Like a car parked here, a car parked here, a car in the center could go through smoothly. When Snowmageddon hit, it was like 1 car can maybe get through. Maybe.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Brutal.
Yeah, really brutal. People got like literally snowed in. If you lived in a basement apartment.
Oh, you were fucked.
Oh, yeah.
You were fucked. People dug snow out from their doors, put it in like a bucket or a tub or whatever, put it in their bathtub.
Yeah, because that was
and had it melt through, because there was nowhere else to put the snow. Yeah. And you had to like dig up and out. So they would like dig it into a bucket and dig it into the tub. On your side when that
dig up, stupid. Up.
Dig up, stupid.
I'm not a very in shape person, but I had to like army crawl across a snowbank to dig out one of my neighbors, because he has 2 outward opening doors rather than like you open the door and it opens inward. He had to push them open. So he couldn't get out, and he called me and he was like, can you come through? And I was like, yeah, sure. I am very overweight. But I had to like army crawl over the snow, and I had to do that because it was so tall that if I just walked, it would be over my head. So I had to
oh yeah, you would think. Yeah.
Exactly. I went over with my shovel and the shovel was in front of me and I would like shovel, crawl, like shuffle across the snow. And then I had to like dig him out so that he would be able to get out of his house in case something devastating happened, like a fire or something, right? It was intense. And then COVID hit.
And then COVID.
Hooray!
Newfoundland is like the only place, so like people wouldn't be as nice as you, Veronica. Like if that was Toronto, they'd be like, well, you could eat my butt, you know, if you're stuck in your house. Cause like, you know what I mean? Like people just aren't as friendly.
Yeah.
Whereas I heard of people back home, like, oh, they'd be like, okay, we have extra flour. So like who needs flour? And they would just leave it in front of their houses and shit like that. So that was
people would have like bonfires in the middle of the street. They'd be like, well, we dug out a little hole in the street, and for sure the plow's not going to be by for a couple of days. So just come to our little hole where we've dug some snow benches and we've lit a fire. Come and have some beers in our snow hole.
Yeah, come get drunk in our hole.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. That's really nice.
Like some people romanticize. Like I knew a couple of expats who were like, "Oh, that would have been so nice," and I'm like, "No, man, I'll take the not snow here."
It was really bad. It was okay if you were someone who, because we had warning ahead of time. So like Stacy and I had our supplies. Lots of people had their supplies, but like if you're someone who couldn't afford it, if you were someone who had mobility issues, it was really shitty. Like senior people, really, really bad. And that's when the army came in, that's who they really ended up helping, was people who were like snowed in, shut in, like they didn't have enough food. Like people were running out of diapers, people were running out of pet food. Like technically corner stores were not allowed to be opened, but a lot of corner stores did open because they were like, people need their shit, and there were like huge lineups of people.
Yeah, we'll take the hit. Like we'll take the legal hit.
Exactly, because like people need their diapers and they need food and they need smokes even, or like beer, like
smokes. Yeah, it's true. But I mean, it's one of those things like here when they try to close down as much shit as possible, it's like, yeah, but you know that people need things. Like people and I think what they're trying to do now is they're trying to shut down certain aisles, like a Dollarama, for example, or like in Walmart. But what happens, I remember I saw in Quebec, they were just like, it was almost random. Like they closed like in the hair care section. Like you get shampoo, but like the shampoo for Black people was like kind of cut off. Like you couldn't get the African hair care section was cut off. And so people were like, yo, like it's still shampoo. And they're like, sure, this is what the guy told me.
Horrible.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
I saw in memes that they were like closing off the fashion section, and that included masks.
Yeah.
Like, fucking
wow.
Idiot, or like in the winter closing off the mittens, like, oh, you can't get to the mittens, and it's like, that's not fashion. Like mittens are not fashion.
Yeah. During Snowmageddon in Newfoundland, so like everything was supposed to be shut down for the first couple of days, except for like emergency stuff, which included pharmacies. And some of the pharmacies are pharmacies, but there's also like a little grocery store type thing inside of it. So you could go into the pharmacy, but you weren't allowed to shop for anything within the grocery store area. But then they would open it so that it was like anything that sells a necessary item, they would open. So Dollaramas would open because they sell food. Yeah. But everything in it was open.
They cut off office supplies too. Like honestly, office supplies were banned.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work in a city that's as big as Toronto. It worked in St. John's. I don't know how it would work in a place as big as Toronto, but I think it was more fair. I don't know.
Yeah.
To what, to cut off certain items and not others?
No, to open up the whole store and not cut off certain aisles.
Because I wonder, like, what if someone just pulls the thing off an aisle? Because right now it's just like a rope covering it, but you could easily just like pull it out from behind the rope. So then are they going to be like, no, we're not going to let you buy these sunglasses?
Can't scan that.
I don't know how that would work in Toronto.
Or
in any place that was like bigger. I think it worked in St. John's because our population is so much smaller. So even in an area like a Dollarama, like you were only going to get a certain maximum number of people. But with COVID, it's like, I don't know. I'm for a very good reason. I am not a public health and safety and Pfizer.
I know. I'm just like, yeah, you'd be like, whatever. Give me my Xena. As long as I can watch my Xena.
Xena, Gabrielle, Xena, Gabrielle.
Man, Xena and Gabrielle would have cleaned that shit up quickly. Like they would have been like, Snow gone.
Right. Yeah. All Xena would have had to do is die once, maybe twice. That's it. And then it would have been solved.
She has her little disc that she throws and it's so powerful.
The chakram, you mean?
The what?
Chakram.
It was called the chakram?
It was called a chakram. Oh, not cool. A shocker. The chakram.
Not a chakra.
Chakram.
Chakram.
Not a chakra. Chakram.
Yeah. Don't they call your butt in yoga the sacrum or the sacrum?
I don't know.
I thought yoga, they were like
yoga classes.
I think I've done like yoga classes like on YouTube and shit. And they're like, no, be on your sacrum or your sacrum. And I'm like, you mean your butthole?
Yikes.
They're like, make sure your sacrum's in line. And you're like, you mean your butthole? Make sure your butthole's
like... Google tells me you are right.
Am I really? Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. You know how like in podcasts suddenly everyone's like way more educated suddenly because everyone's like fucking Googling things while
exactly.
during the podcast.
Yeah. The chakram from Xena is Chakram, and it's like clearly the chakram that existed in Xena, not the same as the real weapon, but it is like a similar weapon.
Oh,
it's like
really?
A round weapon that you throw. But the one in Xena is wild. It's like Xena's like, I wanted to hit that guy like 200 meters away. And she throws it and it hits this corner and it hits that corner.
Yeah.
And it hits that guy and this guy and then dead on hits the other guy. And it's like, I guess that's how angles work.
Yeah, that's how physics works. Listen, when you're that beautiful, when you're Xena, that's how
when you're
works.
Lucy Flawless, physics just bends for you.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's like MacGyver. He's just so handsome that's how things work.
Yeah. That's how you can make like a Scud missile out of like a toothpick and
a cigarette. Yeah.
All right, let's end this podcast.
Let's end it now. Let's put this podcast in misery.
So, wait, what was the motto of this podcast? I don't remember. It was...
Glory holes are the safest way, or something with glory holes.
Yes. Should have done a glory hole.
Should have used a glory hole.
Should have used a glory hole.
You know what, guys? If you got COVID from fucking someone, should have used a glory hole. Signing off.